Hello everyone, welcome and welcome back. It's been a little bit longer than I wanted it to be since the last video. A lot of it has just been honestly just me being tired and not really wanting to do anything except sleep after work. Work has been demanding, which is not usual for me, not towards the end of a month and the beginning of a new month. Usually those times are slower and it gets busy towards the middle, but not for August and not for the start of September. And it doesn't help that I have new responsibilities as well that I'm still learning. So it's a lot of back and forth, a lot of talking, a lot of training. So it has been quite hectic. And while my job is not physically demanding, it is more mentally taxing. A lot of numbers I deal with and everything. It's been a lot. Also, coming back, I had a doctor's appointment with my new general doctor, and I have been referred to a cardiologist and a GI doctor just to rule out major things, I guess. So we'll see how that goes when they happen. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the transactions that are pending because there's quite a few of them. For the checking account, the Capital One, I had a payment that for some reason never cleared. I don't know if there was something wrong with YNAB that day or what was going on, or if it was doing an update, but I just went ahead and marked it cleared. A couple of payments, the interest, which is actually going to go into ready to assign, and the paycheck came in. And I'm going to go ahead and add in a pending transaction here. And this is going to be for the transfer to the SunCheck account for the car payment. Now, I only transferred $250 because that was the auto transfer. I completely forgot to update that to $300. So I do end up sending an additional $50, but it hasn't come through since I just sent it on the same day that I'm recording because that's when I figured it out. So I'm not going to add that one in. For the high yield savings, just approving these last two transactions from August. SunCheck, I don't know why this is not in the right order, but that's okay. These are just approving the last transactions that had come in towards the start of August, and then that transfer for the 250 hasn't cleared on SunCheck, so I'm just going to leave it pending for now. Now, for the New York trip, I took essentially all three of my credit cards, two of them physically, one of them electronically via, I think, one of my wallets on my phone. Can't remember which right now, but that's kind of what I did. So instead of talking about the transactions individually, I'm just kind of going to go through just the New York trip in general and what we did and, kind of go through all of that. So we landed on Friday at close to 10 o'clock. So pretty early in the day, considering hotel check-in was at 3. So we had quite a few hours to sort of figure out what to do. The ride to the hotel was only like 30 minutes from the airport, but it was $75. That was a little intense. New York they add some charges, additional charges for some of the roads and tunnels that you take. So that kind of added a little bit in there, plus the tip. But it was fine. We kind of expected something along those lines, so not too terrible in the grand scheme of things. So we got to the hotel pretty early on. Luckily, they hold luggage for you. So we left our bigger luggage in there. And then we just went out into the city because we had nothing to do except figure out how we were going to entertain ourselves before we were able to check in. We ended up deciding to walk to Radio City Music Hall, which is where my brother was going to go for his concerts on Saturday and Sunday. And it was around maybe like a 25-minute walk. It wasn't too much. I think it just took us that long because we were looking at all of the buildings. I swear I kept looking up and I almost kept getting dizzy because the buildings are so tall. I've never been in like that type of city vibe, like really, really like just super, what's the word? Is it urban? I don't know. It's just very, very much like cityscapes just as far as the eye could see. So many buildings, such large tall buildings. So yeah, it was interesting. So we did that. We went to Radio City Music Hall. And then we found some place to sit because I was tired. I think the night before I only slept 2 hours. I really should have slept more, but I went to sleep a lot later than I planned. So that happened. We sat for like maybe 20 minutes or so, just taking it all in, relaxing, trying to figure out what to do to spend this time. We did find a diner to eat at, so we had like a late breakfast because we were so hungry. We literally woke up, drove to the offsite parking, took the shuttle to the airport, and then did security and then just waited for the flight. We did not eat at all during that entire time. So we were so hungry. So we spent some time eating. I wanted to kind of take my time, but the place we went to was so busy. They were turning tables like so fast because they have so many people waiting to sit. It was a smaller diner. So I didn't want to take up a table for too long. So we ate, not super fast, but we ate at a decent speed, I guess. And then we left so that they could have more tables, another table to use for their next customer and stuff. From there, we decided to head to the Nintendo store because it was pretty close to where we were at. And then we just kind of walked all over the place, just looking at things. Essentially, the whole sightseeing situation that we were going to be doing on Sunday with going to Times Square, window shopping and stuff, we ended up doing on Friday after we landed. And that was it was a lot. It was, I think if I remember correctly, my health app said that I walked 12,000 steps or so that day, which is so far beyond what I walk on a normal day. Like it's so far beyond. Not what I do on a normal day for walking doesn't even compare to that. And my feet were feeling it. I was feeling it everywhere. We also ended up going to a pharmacy that we found because we needed to get waters, since he brought up a good idea of just having water in the room so we wouldn't have to go out and buy something expensive, more expensive at a restaurant. So we got some waters. We also went ahead and got, at another point, we got hair stuff and body wash because the room was supposed to come with it. It didn't. Oh, finishing here with Venture. I did get some crochet hooks after I came back, and I did do my sister's blanket that she has been waiting for. It was super fun and I definitely enjoyed it. And now I'm going to be working on a second blanket, hopefully sometime soon. And the first Mint Mobile payment went out. $225 is not bad compared to what I used to pay on a monthly basis. And this is for 3 months. So that's actually pretty good. But that's kind of it for Venture. So I didn't use it as much because the payment for this card was coming pretty close to the New York trip. So I mostly used the Sapphire for the trip, as you can see. But that Friday, after all of the walking, we came back to the hotel about an hour and a half before check-in, and we just waited in the lobby because I couldn't walk anymore. And I was thinking, let's stop because we also have the Empire State Building later that night. So yeah. Um we ended up going to the hotel, just waiting and finally check in, took a nap, woke up 10 minutes before we were supposed to head out to the Empire State Building, got ready real quickly. We had previously showered before taking that nap. And then we went and it was fantastic. I definitely wanted to do it because I knew that they had that museum that goes kind of over just the history of the building, the construction, the workers, just what was happening around that time. And my brother is a big history buff. He especially loves the World Wars, learning about them. But pretty much anything to do with history, he like soaks it up like a sponge. And then he tells me about it, and I don't remember anything about it ever. So but I had a feeling that he would like it because of that. And literally not even halfway through the museum, he's like looking around at everything with this like amazed look in his face, and he's like smiling. and he's just having such a good time. And then he turns around and he looks at me. He's like, "This is so cool." And that's when I knew I won. I won the game. That was it. That made my New York trip right there. I just patted myself in the back and I said, I know you were going to like this. That's why I pushed so hard for it. So we enjoyed the museum. We took our time with it. And then we got to the 82nd floor, which was the tickets that we bought were just for the 82nd floor. There is a, or no, 86th floor. There is tickets that you could get for the 102nd floor as well, but they were a lot pricier. So we just got just for the 86th floor and the museum. And we spent a good amount of time just looking around in the lookout area outside, just going around, taking pictures. And it was really beautiful. I mean, honestly, from that high up, just being able to see all the buildings and the pictures, I really thoroughly enjoyed how they came out. I didn't really see them very well until after when we were back at the hotel because the sun was so in our face on one side of the building that we were trying to take pictures of. So it was very interesting to just take it and not really see what you were taking. But they came out decent, I would say. I'm not a photographer, but I do enjoy taking pictures and then printing them out and putting them in my journal because I do journal. And he thoroughly enjoyed it as well. He was having a lot of fun just being up there. It's so interesting how quiet everything is up there. You can still hear the street noises, the cars, the honking, the people down at street level, but it was muffled, almost as if you were so far away that it barely registered. It was just a little bit of a surreal experience when we first went out there. And everyone was really respectful, like nobody was pushing anybody. It was pretty packed. There was a lot of people, but there was still enough times that you could find a space to get to the edge and be able to take your pictures. So we had an amazing time. We stayed up there for quite a bit and then we slowly made our way down back to the hotel, kind of just relax a little bit more, maybe get some more sleep, things like that. And then we went and found a pizza place to eat at, and it was good. It was good pizza. Saturday, we decided actually on Friday because of the cost of the Uber and looking up the costs of an Uber to the zoo, the Central Park Zoo, which is what we were going to do. It was going to be a little too much for us. So we decided to go ahead and take the subway. So we went and did that, and it was really easy. It was really quick and painless, and it was about $6 there and back. It ended up being $6 each. So it's $12 versus $80 if we had taken Ubers. It's worth it. So that's what we did on Saturday. That was the only thing we had planned. We just went to the zoo. We ate there. The food was good. It was pricey, but it was pretty good. And then we went ahead and got back to the hotel, took a break. He got ready. He went to his concert. And then after he got back, we went out to find food. And we found this, I found this food truck that had amazing reviews. I had a ton of them. And it wasn't that far from the hotel. So we went there and it was delicious. It was a rice and chicken bowl with some pita bread, French fries, salad. And I ate the entire thing in one sitting, which is fine. Because I hadn't eaten anything that day except what we ate at the zoo. So I didn't actually expect that I was gonna eat it all because I usually try not to like overstuff myself. But it was great. It was so, oh my God, it was delicious. And then Sunday, which was our last full day, we didn't get up that early because we didn't have a lot to do. That was supposed to be the day that we were gonna walk around. But in speaking to my brother, I was like, we need to like hit specific strategic areas because I can't do just a standard walking around. My legs, particularly my toes, were so raw with all the walking that we had done on Friday and on Saturday that I just could not even imagine just walking around for hours on end, just sightseeing in Times Square, looking at different things. It was just going to be way too much. So we did end up going out to specific places. I wanted to hit a Gongcha, which is a bubble tea company, because Felix of Stray Kids, y'all know Stray Kids. I've talked about Stray Kids before. I went to the concert. He is the ambassador for Gongcha right now. So they have like cardboard cutouts. When you order at the kiosk, and it like speaks his in his voice, all of that stuff. So I wanted to do that, and we did that, and I took a selfie with the cardboard cutout because why wouldn't I? And then from there we went back to the Nintendo store because he wanted to get some stuff for my sisters. And then the last place that we hit was actually the Muji store, which I believe is a Japanese store. They have home goods, organization goods, and clothing, and the biggest thing, the stationery. And that's what I went there for, because my sister told me, hey, did you know that there's a Muji store in New York right there where you're going to be? And I said, no, I didn't. I'm going to go there. So I ended up spending about $100 at the Muji store. $108.49 to be specific. That's what I spent. And I got quite a few pens. I got a fountain pen. I got some notebooks and more pens and a pen case for myself and the girls here. And yeah, I ended up spending 108, and I said, that's it. That's my budget. I'm done. I can't buy anything else. On the way to the store, we actually passed by the New York Public Library, which was so pretty on the outside and so huge. I wish we had time to go in there, but like I wanted to. When I saw it, I didn't know it was right there. I just couldn't. I had to stick to the plan because my feet the entire time we were walking were just, I was trying so hard to ignore the ache and pain in my feet. So we just needed to stick to what we had said we were gonna do, not deviate, because any deviations, I just don't think I would have made it back to the hotel. So we did that. And then from the Muji store, we walked back to the hotel. And then I kind of just stayed there resting. My legs were elevated because I do have an issue where sometimes they get swollen. So just to kind of offset anything that might come up. And then we watched a little bit of Kamen Rider, which my brother got me into. So we watched a few episodes of Kamen Rider, the latest one, Gav. And then he went to his final concert day, and I was hungry. So I placed an order at a place that I found, and I went to pick it up myself. And it was a short walk, so it wasn't too bad. My legs were rested enough that they weren't complaining too much. But it was a really nice walk. Like, I got used to the noise pretty quickly, pretty early on Friday, because we walked so much around that you had to get used to it. So nothing was bothering me with all of that. So it just, I don't know, that walk that I took by myself just to get my food and then come back to the hotel, I don't know. There was a lot of people, but it just felt really peaceful to me. I don't know how to explain it. I think I could see why people live there, why some people wouldn't want to give it up. I think for me, it was great. I would love to go back. There's so many other things that I would want to like sightsee and go to. I don't know if I would live somewhere like that, like so full of so many people and so alive. Like every night, there was one night, I think Saturday, where the party didn't stop until like 3 o'clock in the morning or something. But for me, I think definitely visiting, maybe even staying a little bit longer and really just taking it in, taking a bit more time to do things would be great. I don't know if I would be able to live there full time. I don't know. It's something I've never thought about, but it was just very interesting. And I really enjoyed it. And my brother absolutely enjoyed it. And we both definitely want to go back. So we might go back together. I don't know what my boyfriend and I are going to do, but we might end up going back together again. So finishing up with Sapphire here. The last thing is this jet pens. Like I mentioned, I do journal, and my favorite planner to journal in is the Hobonichi, the Hon version, which is the hardcover. So I got a new one for next year. I have been using this year's, like there's no tomorrow, and this would be, I think the 5th year that I used it will be next year, would be my 5th year. So I'm very happy with it. This is the one I like and this is the one I use. So that's the one I got. Moving on to Freedom. I didn't use this one this much. This was the one that I had in the electronic wallet just as a precaution. But most of this is just payments and standard subscription things. I don't know why I got all of these refunds from the store. Some of this was grocery related, some of this was clothing related, like the shirt and dress that I got myself for the trip, which I did use, and they were fantastic. Um, I don't know if it's something to do with the card or if it's something with the store that they'll just refund you if the price should have been lower or something. I don't know. I'll take them though. I'll take it. So that's fine by me. But yeah, most of this is just, as you can see, monthly fees. The only thing I used this really in New York was for one of the subway rides, because I looked up online and it said, oh, try not to use the same card just in case, because the second charge could be denied. And I said, oh, well, I don't want that. So, but then I read again and it said, oh, just for debit cards, credit cards should be fine. So that happened. But that's okay. So that's what I used it for. And then I meant to delay Chewy since I have enough food and cat litter for my cat, and I forgot. So it came out, so that's fine. And then that would be the final reconciliation there. So for August, there's 2 overspends. Let's see. So for Mint Mobile, just a little bit over. I think for next month, I'm going to start saving up 80 a month instead of 75, just to cover that overspend and then have a little extra just in case. I believe this was an introductory price, so it's definitely going to go up a bit for the next 3 months. So maybe I'll do a straight 100, I'm not sure, but at least 80 for right now, and then I'll see kind of where it lands at. And then for the 5-star Michelin, this was because we went to Wendy's when we landed back in Florida, since we were, again, so hungry because the flight was, again, really early. Just covering it with the interest that we had there, and then Beautiful. And the last of it with whatever I had remaining for Escape from Reality. Okay. And then everything else here should be good to go. Yep. Now, some of this, I had mentioned in the last video that I was going to take whatever was left over on some categories and put it towards the Peaceful Rainy Days Fund for the savings. I'm not going to do that. Instead, what I have decided to do is take whatever is left over and put it towards the My Shiny Teeth category, which I'm going to need a new name for that because it's going to be health related now, general overall, since I don't know what's going to come from the cardiologist appointment or the GI appointments. Hopefully nothing comes out from them and I don't have to worry so much. But if something does come up, then that's probably when I'll think about what to change it to, because it will be definitely more along the lines of overall health versus just being something for the gum procedures that I still have to complete, among other things. Among other things in my mouth that I have to complete. So hopefully it's not anything serious, but if it is, I would rather be safer than wait and it'd be a lot worse. So just move these last two over as well. And that should be it for that. And moving on to September, let's go ahead and assign the paycheck. So $1,400. There is a delay with the increase. I'm not sure what the delay is. My manager is looking into it because I did not receive the increase letter. Everybody who was going to receive one, at least in our group, who was set to receive something, has already received it, and I have not. And they received it towards the middle of the month, last month. So I'm not 100% sure what the delay is. If it was retracted, if it's not going to go through. And if it isn't, this might be a deeper discussion with my manager in terms of the additional responsibilities that I took, which were with the understanding that that increase was coming as well. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I don't have any information right now, but we'll kind of see where that takes us to. For the assignments, I'm going to go ahead and add in, first of all, the 300 that I sent to the car, just because I want to make sure that that's taken care of since I've already sent it over. The monthly fees, the first portion of the vet insurance, and then cover Bastion's Chewy order since I came out. All right, so let's go and look at just what I have tagged for paycheck number 1 here. Groceries as always. I'm not gonna put anything on the fun categories just because I don't really need anything at this moment. I want to start saving a little bit on household just for a few things for later on. So just $10 for now. And then for the half fund, vet insurance I already covered, gas and wellness. Let's go ahead and cover those. And then for the annual stuff, time after time. Okay, that's good for now. And I am going to cover some for 5-star Michelin because I already bought some food. And that should actually be enough for right now. Okay. Let's go back to all. Let's see. I'm not going to cover anything right now for the reserve portion. I think I'm going to do that with the second paycheck. The bills are good. Necessities are good. Yeah. So $589.85. I think I'll leave the because I like you category for next paycheck. This is for gifts. And I do have a couple of birthdays coming up, as well as Christmas, which is what we celebrate coming up. Let's cover this. This is for the Hobonichi order. Okay, so 513. Let's put the 10 on Terrytown, I think. Yeah. Since we have the money for it right now. Okay, so $503.59. I do plan this month to send at least $600 to savings. So I think I'm going to put this entire amount into that category. So at least this way I kind of have the majority of it set there. I'm going to try not to use that for anything because I'm not going to transfer it right now. I want to transfer it when I have the entire amount there, when everything is kind of settled with the second paycheck, just to make sure that I do have everything I need. And then I'll go ahead and send it. So that would put me, if I do send the 600, at least 600, that will put me over into $2,000. That will be amazing to see when that happens. Everything else looks good, and I don't think I have anything else. Yeah, there wasn't anything else. So overall, New York was amazing. I had a really good time. My brother had a really good time. We went to a couple of things here and there, and it was all great. We did have a pizza from a second place on Sunday, and that place was even better than the first one. They were both good, but that place was definitely better than the first one. And overall, the spending was kind of within where I wanted it to be. The biggest thing was the Muji store, which was $108. And of course, purchasing the rideshare and purchasing the offsite parking and the tickets for the two things we went to do, which technically for me would have only been $90 since my brother paid half for those. But those were the bigger ticket items. Everything else was just food. And then the different times we went to the pharmacy or to a grocery store to get certain things that we needed while we were over there. But overall, it was great, and I would definitely do it again and go see a few other things. I still want to do the Museum of Natural History, and I want to do the Statue of Liberty, and there's several other things that I would like to do as well. So, and that is all I have for today. Thank you so much as always for watching, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day.